Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome back to Disco Elysium, where we are looking as cool as anyone has ever looked. So we are going to just go ahead and head up, I think, at this point, to our meeting. I know it's not quite time yet, but it'll take us a little bit of time to walk over there. After 2100, they said, so I actually don't know how long it's going to take to walk over there, but you know what? We can just, look around, investigate things. I'm sure we can find a way to burn 10 minutes. Probably we could even just inspect stuff in our inventory. Snow over inky blackness. There we go. You can see it zoom over to us. I think the camera is spawning in at the top left, so maybe I could just hold down and right until we get where we're going. This is not where I want to be. I want to be out on the other side of the fence there. You would think that I could just open up a way around. Open up a way through, rather. I have this pry bar. That fence can't be that tough. Man, I really hope we can get a hold of that paint before the end of the game. I want to leave my mark on this place in a way other than by vomiting on it. Because I've done that already. That's old hat. Oh, we do still have the thing with the key, the basement door. We could go try it out. I mean, I'm definitely being taken advantage of, right? If I go over there and open that, I am doing Everett Claire's bidding in a way that is not going to earn me any extra respect. What is that? That's a pretty loud snore, I think. Man, to be able to hear that from the hallway, that's actually really impressive. That person is going all out. I wasn't going to look around in here, but then, you know, things are slightly different than they were during the day. Okay, there's nothing in here that I'm allowed to steal now that the agent is gone. I was just wondering. So, yeah, it doesn't look like there's any reason really to be in here. Okay, to the balcony. We've managed to do all this without advancing the time even a tiny little bit. I don't know exactly how much town is going to open up tomorrow when the water lock is opened. I'm hoping that it's going to be enough that we're going to be able to make quite a bit of money during the next day, during day 3. Alright, is there anything up here that I can see to interact with that I could not see to interact with before? What is this door? It is a door that I cannot go into. Looks like... no, not really. I wish that you could edge pan or something. It's just it's very awkward with tab. You know what? I'm complaining about this a lot. I might be able to change the key bindings. No, I cannot, in fact, change the key bindings. There are no key binding settings. Well, phooey is what I have to say to that. Okay, so it looks like we're, yeah, we're pretty low on things to do here. All right, into the inventory. Was there anything in the interact menu that we had not yet interacted with? We looked at the handwritten note on the fridge. I read all about these cockatoos. I looked at a map. No, I think... you know what? Tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers. No, I totally did read this. I remember, it did damage to us. My morale was lowered. A good book can have that effect on you. Let me tell you something. I read 1984 for school, but just at at a very vulnerable moment in young teenage SB's life, and... It put me in a hole. It put me deep in a hole. I never want to read that book again, despite the fact that I do believe that it is extremely good. Just cause, oh man. Well, I managed to burn a minute there. There's not really a way to just wait, is there? Like, if I just want to sit here for 10 minutes, can I click on the clock? No. Let's knock. No one answers. You should come back later, you know, in like 10 minutes. All right, well, I guess we don't have to be here directly at 9 o'clock. We can go down and I guess have a look at the door for Everett at least. I mean, I don't necessarily have to open it. And if we open it, we could, of course, close it again afterward and relock it. We do have the key and everything. Oh, no, don't go that way. Go this way. I don't know why I clicked on the balcony door. Fortunately, our character is too out of his head to react quickly to my clicking. I have plenty of time to just reorient and decide on a different tack. Alright, hold on, we're going to try to scroll the camera to our character manually. It seemed to go down and to the right before. This is not working. I'm further away, if anything. We're not even... Okay, no. If I stop, we can see the snow effects again. It looked like it went down. I think I hadn't gone far enough. I don't know where the origin is. Apparently it's further away than I thought. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. Yeah, I'm gonna press my ear against the door. Let's do some investigating. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp. This door is cursed somehow. Let's, carefully knock. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment. You're pretty sure the owner of the apartment isn't here. It's safe-ish. Well, I mean, I don't want to be doing Everett Claire's dirty work, but I am at this point actually very intrigued about this. And to be perfectly honest, if I had to pick a side, I'd probably side with the Union over Wild Pines. Not with Everett Claire specifically, but with the Union. Alright, let's just go ahead and look. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the lock, or the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. Also, hopefully there's not like a trap on the other side of the door. Some Max Payne shit with a shotgun rigged up. Am I not allowed to go inside? Do you want... Hey, Raphael. Yeah, there we go. I know they told us his name is Harry. I refuse to accept it. My name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. It's the only name that fits. The only name that feels right, man. What have we up here? A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols, a broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. Oh, this is probably where that racist mug is coming from, because it sounds like this mug might also be racist. Tap on the mugs. Okay, I guess we can. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures. What do I mean uncomfortable? I think it's pretty clear. The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. What a gentle way to put that. Yeah, typical asshole. This person is unhappy. Yeah, well, I mean, that's why they... Okay. Whip out your yellow... I mean... Okay. Look, this is also racist. What is the value of comparing these things? Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. So we could perhaps be looking at another person who has access to the garbage, right? But would they have chosen to throw their own mug away? The handle on the Yellow Man mug is broken, right? So they could have, but it could also be that somebody else found it somewhere and threw it away because it is obviously trash. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. I am really all about breaking into apartments more often. That's pretty much the main thing I do in video games. Is this really the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash? It is at least possible. Who knows? Could be, but the clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in mind. And thinking that was worth XP. The smell of disinfectant in the room. Smells like chemicals. Whoever lives here admires fair hair fantasy heroes with big muscles. Some Boris Vallejo shit on the wall. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. Oh, I don't think we've seen the flag before. What's with the sun? Well, this isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. And what is the sevenfold sun miracle? It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. Oh yeah, that's probably why they call it that. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. Okay, I don't really... Why would I just bow to a flag in an empty room? The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks a bit like a child's drawing. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. That's weird. Now we found ourselves some magnesium. You know how I feel about magnesium. A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? Well, I hope they don't need this nosophed. I was kind of thinking we'd do some more investigating there, maybe? No? Alright, well, what about this dresser? It's more of a bedside table, really. Okay. A logic shirt. So that's it? We're not going to get any other clues about who this person is from in here? Am I missing something? It feels like I must be. I do have -1 perception from my glasses. Can we maybe fix that? But I do some of this. Plus visual calculus. Feels very silly. It's entirely possible that we've gotten all the information we're going to get out of this particular domicile. I have electrochemistry on now. Interfacing? This is probably... Yeah. Alright. Walk around real quick again. Nothing new highlights. Okay. Well, I would love it if we could lock the door again. You know, not do Everett's job. Sneak in here to steal stuff, but not leave the door unlocked. I guess me having taken anything is going to probably have the effect that Everett wanted anyway. So at this point, locking the door behind us again wouldn't really help. Well, whatever. I guess we've shaken the tree. Let's see what falls out of it. And finally have that conversation. How many episodes ago was it that we talked to that guy and he told us to come visit him? Does feel like I'm getting through this very, very slowly, making a real meal out of it. I have no idea how long the game is. We're getting toward the end of day 2 here. If it's much longer than 3 days, this series is going to go to 100 episodes. I have no idea why we have this problem only sometimes. Hey look, it's our friend. Wait. Let me make sure I have my talking to people clothes on. Plus logic, minus authority. I don't think this dude's much for authority. You could probably do without. I don't like minus suggestion. Maybe we should wear our totally sick Helmdahl shirt. It is a very good shirt, is the thing. I'm a huge fan of how good it is as a shirt. What pants do I want? Probably not minus savoir-faire. And then gloves. I mean, electrochemistry gloves are fine. Sure. We have on our suggestion coat already. These glasses are... yeah, probably okay. I think we're ready. I think we're dressed for a conversation.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette. Is he maybe a little bit into me? His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. That's not really a reasonable reaction I just had there. It's just that nobody has been happy to see me, I feel like, the entire time we've been here, so it's an interesting change of pace. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. And his shirt is still unbuttoned. Alright, sense of electrochemistry, calm down. Maybe the problem is I'm a little into him, and so it's like reflecting back. Yeah, I got your hint. Found the key right under that stone. Should I maybe not say that out loud? I guess the other option is don't do the conversation. So.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
I mean, that definitely depends on how you define right. I'm not just going to make things right. I'm going to make them spectacular. Do I want to say that? Do I think he will respond well to that? That's the question. Probably not. This is like definitely overreach. This is extremely not my job. And if anything, I'm going to make things gloomy and weird, because that's just sort of my deal. Honestly, I'm just trying not to screw anything up,
Beautiful.
he says again, weirdly. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods toward door 28. That's interesting. Man, is it Friday tonight? It feels like Friday. Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. By the way, I'm really digging the view from here. Point to the city skyline. That's why I chose this place. He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark. Martinez is special, isn't it? You know, honestly, I'm kind of getting that feeling about it. I'm not gonna ask why I would want to meet your friend. We're just gonna meet him, right? Very well, I'll talk to him, but first, I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. Well, that's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me. Yeah, does your friend know where you got that shirt? Because I want one of those. He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush. Besides, I've got to run. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again. Go if you must. I don't care. I don't care about people leaving me all the time, and I like to think that we've sort of got our head tossed back and maybe like our arm up, or like our wrist against our forehead. Man, but I just found you again. Just look at it. He gestures toward distant motorways, all leading to Golden La Delta. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this? He's right. Only losers go to bed early. Time to break out the booze. Boy, I'm really laying it on here, though, huh? Do I want him to think that I'm hitting on him? I mean, if it gets me to talk to him again, maybe it's not a bad idea. Because if he dashes off and we never see him again, we don't get the chance to actually question him, we could miss real information. Yeah, alright, let's try this. Well, only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important. Oh, we'll talk, the smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair. Just not tonight. Wow, that was worth a lot of XP. Take care, alright? He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night. And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. Well, I mean, you can make a line out of any 2 points. It's not really necessarily meaningful. Number 28. Is this number 28? Yeah, okay, there we go. Sometimes when you try to interact with something you're already very close to, he just sort of jitters back and forth for a bit. We do have a skill point, and I have no idea what I want to do with it. That got us actually almost halfway to another skill point. Okay, lots of stuff going on here. A quarterly business magazine. You stay right there and be mysterious near the window. I'm going to look at everything in your apartment. Don't go anywhere, I'm a police officer. An empty ashtray. There's something under the bed. Dishes soaked up in a pot. Someone is always watching. Yes, and right now it's me. Don't move. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. A bed canopy. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. I mean, exquisite feels strong. Old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. I think we usually say cologne. Actually, is men's perfume a thing that is different from cologne? I don't actually know that. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. Oh, I need your paint. In a wider sense, this is actually my apartment, and yours. Okay, cool. Can I sleep here tonight? I guess...
Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks. I was about to say, I guess I don't need to stay here tonight. I already did pay for tonight at the Whirling. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances. Oh yeah, me too. Look at that.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc.
Okay, you're even Frencher than everybody else.
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Not French. He's German. He's got a sort of a German thing. The Z, I don't know. I saw the zis and I was like, that sounds French in my head, but no, his accent's more German than French. Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things. Should I? I mean, I think that does fit with our kind of like spacey character. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy.
I would be a little weirded out about, hey, here's a bed, sleep on this, but I'm not going to tell you where I got it.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. So what is an official like you doing in Martinez? The Coalition is only looking for the price stabilité. He raises an index finger. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Okay, that's not really an answer to my question. What are you doing here, in this apartment? Ah, well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. He smiles. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Well, alright, that's an answer that's not suspicious enough for my taste, but I guess it's probably the real answer. So you're some kind of bureaucrat. Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur La Clef working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. He glances at his watch. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stabilité, is there? Or, maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not. Okay, what is the Price Stabilité? It is the most important thing. That doesn't tell me anything. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stabilité is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stabilité. And how does this benefit us exactly? Well, take your daily bread, par exemple. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%. Below 2% of what? Our character does not have any idea about this stuff. Well, but not too far below, no. 2 below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. It kind of sounds like you're not answering any of my questions at all here, friend. The Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stabilité. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? Yes, absolutely, please give me a thing. I love things. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'etre of the Moral Intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. He pats his pockets. But I don't have any leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency. Okay. What is the international community? I think this is going to be one of the rare conversations in this game where we actually want to just exhaust everything. La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the Coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. Well, that puts his beliefs pretty squarely in view. What exactly is the Moral Intern? I mean, obviously I know, but explain it to me as though I didn't know. It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition. I hate the phrase mind babies. Wow. So, are you a moralist? He did just tell me that he was. But of course. Am I a moralist? Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values? I am always real leery about people who use the word normal in this way. I would like a definition of normal, please. What is a normal, stable world? Well, the Occident is part of the normal world, Orania, Sur le Clef. You know, Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me. It could just be the fact that I'm here. I do seem to be kind of a destabilizing force. Martinez? No, Martinez is something else. Well, what about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world? Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. He gives you an approving nod, but not like too approving. Let's see. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring and I want more action. I do sort of think that our character thinks this. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Does kind of seem to be the case. I mean, like, literally true. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. I mean, I kind of have to agree. Or it's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? He's going to tell us, no, probably not. That sounds like ultra-liberalism to me. I don't think that our character tremendously disagrees with most of this stuff. Listen, I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Do you think peace is boring? What about prosperity? Do I look like a dude who's into peace and prosperity? Look at my face. Look what my face is doing. I mean, listen, peace sounds pretty good. Exactly. I don't find it boring. I find it fulfilling. Peace is what allows me to have my morning coffee, my afternoon golf, my sundown friends. I'll talk about friends in a real strange way. The smile he gives you is straight off a campaign poster. The kind of smile focus group tested to appeal to the most gullible swath of the electorate. Much unlike my smile, which is terrifying to everyone I meet. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Yeah, tell me more about Sur le Clef. Well, what's there to say? Sur le Clef is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of Epis. Epis? Epis. I'm going to say Epis. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes. The word sponsor here is doing a lot of lifting. Darlings? That can't be an official designation. What makes Revachol Sur le Clef's darling? Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur le Clef. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area. Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared Sur le Clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Yo, mercifully? Let me tell you, I don't mind telling you, I could murder some meatballs and mashed potatoes right at this moment. Why don't you tell me about Orania? Oh, Orania is an exemplary nation, who, as a core member of Epis, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur le Clef, Orania is probably the most prominent member of the international community. This dude loves the international community. Sorry, which one of them is more Epis? Well, as founding members, they are both very Epis. Orania carries a lot of political weight, while Sur le Clef takes care of the business side of things. Sur le Clef hosts the headquarters of the major Epis institutions. Okay, but outside of Epis, which, don't get me wrong, I do love saying, what is Orania? Orania's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services, and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. That didn't tell me anything about Orania. Yeah, this guy has a real way of not answering my questions. Can you please just talk like a normal person instead of a campaign pamphlet? About what? About Orania. Just tell me what it's like there. Oh, it's very urban and well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow. A lot of people we meet are really concerned with how efficient other people are. Alright, enough business. Let's talk about something else. Well, whatever you wish, officer. Can you tell me about your friend? I apparently think he's dreamy. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. What is Kedra? Is that a thing we've heard of before? Maybe. You know what I think it might be? Kedra is a candidate member of IPIS, but between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? Well, it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. That does seem like a long time. That doesn't tell me anything about Kedra itself, though, man. Is it warm there? Cold? Something in between? It's warm, he nods. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's Minaj decided to emigrate. Okay, sure. You still haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Okay, that's a weird thing for him to do. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony? We were just talking about him? But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially in the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization. Okay, what's his name? Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. So, all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes. Which arts? Oh, he's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking. Who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. Yeah, a talented youth with certain characteristics. How did you two become friends? How did any of us become friends? I literally can't answer that question. Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola. Oil platforms ablaze in the night. Civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in. Okay, but what are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. It seems like you're leaving out a lot of information. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. Okay, what are you doing in his apartment by yourself? That's a weird thing. I'm just enjoying the view, the man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside. I mean, it's not that dark. And I was just telling his friend outside how much I liked the view, so this is kind of a weird thing to say. Listen, he says, raising his hand. A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment. Someone's baby is crying. No, listen, he says again, looking outside. The Insulindian Bay. Okay, I'll bite. What about it? This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million-real view stays. You can't take that away. He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. Okay, I'm with you. I was asking about your friend. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. A busy bee? What an odd choice of words. I mean, that is a phrase. I agree with you that it's a weird phrase, but it is an English phrase. Okay, I had something else in mind. So you actually witnessed the lynching? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. The man gives a solemn nod. Is it because you did it? That's a bad way to start questioning. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene. Surreal to you, meaning it was terrifying. No, the man shakes his head. I mean, it was so strange, I could barely believe what was happening. I mean, well, yes, I know what you meant, but I wasn't allowed to choose that. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body, and then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this. Okay, how many of them were there? I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10, maybe 8? Were any of them huge? Like 200 kilograms huge? Oh, that's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, so far as I could tell. All right, and what happened next? I went back inside. Wait, so you didn't actually see the lynching happen? Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see. But I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. Were they men? Women? All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. And what ethnicity were they? Well, I believe they were mostly white, though I saw 2 Areopagites among them, and I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesca accent. And what happened next? Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. I mean, what do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy. Well, eventually their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no nothing. Yeah, you're right, that does seem strange. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. Can you at least tell me when it happened? Well, all I can say is that it was late. You didn't check your watch? My watch? He looks at his watch as though noticing it for the first time, despite the fact that he has looked at it several times since I've been here. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. Okay, so that's a weird thing. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you? No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Okay, those are all my questions. That was a waste of time, but I'm not going to say that to you. Thanks. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM. Well, that was a dead end. Oh, a moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. Hold on, why can't we talk later? Well, it's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. He pauses. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well. That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to take a look around in this apartment. Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. He glances at his watch. Let me know if you have any further questions. Alright, there's something under the bed that we didn't look at yet, but we also have some thoughts to deal with here. Jamais vu, the opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood, only now. That's the feeling you've been having, and for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is the fundamental question. So I've lost a point of encyclopedia, but I get an XP every time I click an orb. I don't think that that's really going to negatively affect us. We had probably too much encyclopedia before, and all my int learning caps are raised by 1. That's probably not super relevant. When it says int learning caps, it probably means logic, right? Now this is the one I'm more interested in. Do we expect that is what that thing looks like? I mean, if it wasn't invisible. It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper light and low, a god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room, a candy wrapper falling on dry grass, a drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Koldomama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening. Okay, +3 perception's pretty cool. And again, -1 encyclopedia. So that's a little concerning. There's definitely a point where we are losing too much encyclopedia. We can use a skill point to drop one of these if we wanted to. We also could use our skill point to just open up a new thought slot and try to put in, like, the 15th Indo-Tribe, because I'm very curious where this goes. Or, of course, we have other things to do. I don't know. We'll come back to it. No, it totally does say that's right. Logic is a skill inside of intellect. And for some reason, I was thinking logic was the name of the category and that they had gotten their labels wrong. Well, let's continue to look around. So we definitely still have this to look at. I've discovered a Samaran conical hat. Weird. What about over here? A party dragon's silk robe. +1 drama, +1 electrochemistry. That's pretty cool. That's a good piece of gear. I have so much perception. I'm never going to miss anything ever again. Am I allowed to get over here near the... Okay, there's nothing else to look at, I guess.
Was there anything else?
I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. This guy's weird. It's weird that he's here, and I feel like we haven't learned anything at all from him. Anything meaningful, even the least little bit. But I do guess we're done. I kind of wish that Kim was here. Yeah, alright. I wish that Kim was here to conduct that interview in an actually useful way, because I really do feel like we missed something. Alright, so what do we want to do now? I guess we could just go back to Everett and tell him that we did the thing, and maybe he'll come through on the gun. I'm a little leery of doing it with Kim gone. Just in case Everett's like, yeah, thanks, sucker, and then he shoots me. But I guess I'm pretty fast. Maybe I'd be able to overtake him. And I know that the Union thinks they're the law in town and everything, but it is not necessarily a great idea to shoot a cop. Like, shooting a cop can solve some of your problems, but it also pretty much invariably creates other problems. I was just seeing if our new perception skill was going to lead to having any more loot around here. It probably doesn't actually work like that. So what do we want to do? We have a skill point that we could use to unlock some checks, that we could go try some stuff again. We could try to get this look off our face. Right? That was an electrochemistry check that I think we had a pretty decent bonus on now. I mean, I guess let's have a quick look at all of our checks. What do we have? There's the set of tracks, which I don't really care too much about. There's the rhetoric check on the cargo container door. There's also a rhetoric check with Sealang, but I don't know that it really matters. I do like the idea of our character having more rhetoric. I think that's a sensible thing. Yeah, the electrochemistry check at the mirror. There's the shivers check with the dice maker. There's still the empathy check with Kuno that I would like to try. I don't know. I don't know what we want to do with this. Wait. This orb is worth XP. Sea breeze carries more than salt. Meat. Not rotten, not fresh. Grilled. Somebody is grilling out here. I don't know if that's going to be all that useful to me. I guess it is worth running around real quick, though, and trying to get any perception orbs to spawn. How many orbs do we need? I mean, realistically, 100, right? It would be 100 orbs to make it sensible, to make it not a loss, to spend a skill point on taking this thing off so that we're not losing too much encyclopedia. So we're probably never going to be able to actually return that investment. Part of the value of the investment is definitely in just like learning what the thought does. Etched into the wood, barely visible. Remember the... and the rest is lost to time. Well, that's unfortunate for the person who wanted people to remember that thing. Felt like there was something else I was going to do later in the night. Did we look at this already? Yes, we totally did. I am not going to kick the mail delivery box. I have no reason to do this. You know, part of me still wants to hit the volition check over here and try to call Slipstream SCA. We do have a pretty decent bonus on that check again. I'm also curious about the window in here. Depending on what the window check looks like now, we could attempt it, then put a point in perception, then attempt it again. If that looks like a sensible thing to do. No, it is still not time yet. We have 9 perception, and it is still not time yet. 9 perception, not enough to get over the 3% threshold there. Well, yeah, shoot, then I'm actually pretty lost. I don't really know what to do. We could attempt... I mean, I'm not going to be able to attempt anything in here, right? feel like I should be able to, like, hurl myself against the door, though. Where else might we find a better pry bar? That's the thing I would like to... Maybe at the pawn shop? There doesn't seem to be a hardware store anywhere. I'm going to go back to the mirror and have a look at the electrochemistry check there. As I remember it, we had quite a few bonuses stacked up now. I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be valuable to us to pass that electrochemistry check. Like, in terms of what it actually offers. Yeah, okay, we have a pretty significant bonus here. I also could do this, I suppose. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to let the mirror be for now. Yeah, I don't know, man. What else do we have to do? I'm kind of curious about that cargo container thing. I guess let's go to the pawn shop. See if they do in fact have anything new and interesting for sale. Mostly better pry bars. And if not, then we go see Everett Claire. We could tell him that we did the thing, find out what he's talking about with our gun. Who knows? Maybe he'll actually come through for us. Maybe me having unlocked the door for him will turn out to make him think that we're a stooge, basically, that it's safe to give us back our gun because he is in control of us. And then we will show him that he is not in control of us at a vital moment. It sort of sounds like I'm talking about shooting him. That's not what I mean. But now that I've thought of that, it doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Alright, tell me you have some fun new stock. You know, people gotta pawn stuff all the time. Doesn't look like anything new. I mean, we can check over here. My perception's super high now. Yeah, it looks like we're not seeing any new options. Okay.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
There we go. There's a question about that thing we saw that everyone should be aware of. Hey, do you know anything about the traffic menace on the loose? Traffic? I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive. But, like, didn't you hear it when the traffic menace drove over your roof? Oh, now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop and then moving on. A vortex? Sounds fascinating. No, wait, we want to do this one. Yet another sign that the end is nigh. It must be destiny that brought me here. Tell me more about this vortex. The end? I don't know about that. Seemed more like a sign of a large-scale transformation. Shook the entire shack. Well, the vortex is going to become much bigger. It is an integral part of how it all ends. And end implies a stable state, whereas we can see from experience that everything is in fact always transforming. Thus there can be no end. Ah, but that is merely our meager sense experience. There are dark forces at work now that we cannot even envision, much less see. The dark always has its counterbalance in light. Neither will prevail. The cycle will continue. He folds his arms with finality and turns away from you, concentrating once more on his light show. That's not an answer to my question. Traffic. Yeah, didn't you hear when you drove over your roof? A vortex? Sounds fascinating. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I know it meant something. Okay, hold on, let's try that again. You know what? Why don't you drive? I just don't like it very much. Movement on the road never really gelled well with the movement of my thoughts. And then we say, does that mean you don't have any idea who the driver was? He shakes his head slowly. Okay, great. Thank you. Wanted to ask you about my missing gun again. No, we already... Alright, this was not that helpful. I was hoping that, just more stuff would show up over time, because that's how pawn shops work. Alright, well, we'll go talk to Everett Claire. We'll swing past that locked storage container, and then I guess we will see if I feel like putting the point into rhetoric and trying again with it. I think probably that won't happen because the check was quite difficult, right? Am I remembering that correctly? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to talk a cargo container into opening. Of course that talk was difficult. Or that check, rather. Alright, Everett Claire could be in a more convenient location. How does he even get up here? He's not exactly in the greatest shape. There we go. It would be nice if it was always off, but I'm just making sure we don't see anything new. Okay. You know what? We should have a peek in here. Browse through the folders. Okay. Nope. I was just thinking, with all this extra visual perception, right? You know what? I am going to try this out. Let's see what this does. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Yeah. Let your muscle memory dial a random number. I do have the long lonesome way home equipped, and I have heard my real name. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005, that's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952, and a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then, a crackle. Someone picks up. They say, Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lemmy. How may I help you? The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows. What is this place? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lemmy. No. I meant, what is this place to me? Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. Do you know me? No. Why did I call you? Maybe you called to extend your rental period. Do you need to extend your rental period? Alright. My name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. That's just the truth. But he would probably know me by my normal person alias Harry Dubois. Do you have anything on that name? Let me fire up the machine. Keys are being pressed in the background. Dubois. Oh, here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Oof, not a fun film, that one. What kind of a film is that? It's not an easy watch, he reads. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik, maybe? Comes to terms with the onset of dementia. Ooh. He concludes, no wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Maine. The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone. Huh. Am I allowed to call back? I am not allowed to call back. Yeah, that movie, I bet that movie's pretty good, and I also bet that I would really, really have a hard time making it through to the end of it. That sounds very, very bleak, like brutally bleak. There is literally nothing in this world that upsets me more than dementia. Which is a thing that will happen if you have a loved one go through, hey, let's not talk about it. Hey, let's just keep moving. Hey, Mr. Everett, I want to have a conversation with you that is about something other than this, please. Are we picking up any new... Oh, yes, I am. I am seeing new things. This stuff might have been highlighted before, but I did not notice it. Why is there so much money just sitting in random cups? Should we talk to... what's his name again? Why not? Can't hurt.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy man being an important police officer and all, and personally, I think the more people keeping the peace, the better.
Yeah, as long as they're actually keeping the peace, I'm with you. Never mind. Okay, I'm off. The core problem with people keeping the peace is that they're often only interested in keeping a particular kind of peace. One that doesn't really feel that much like peace to some other people. Alright, Everett, you win. I did the thing.
Mr. Dubois, every worker?
He leans toward you, waiting for you to complete his sentence. Every worker is a living god. Every worker member of the board, I assume, is what he's looking for here. Every worker is an organ in the great state organism of war. Also, looks just like me. God, let's hope not. Now, this is what he's looking for. Member of the board.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart too. How can I help you today?
Fervor? Should we tell him that I spiked the... I should not tell him this. I opened the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now? That's a lot of XP. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry, he says with a smile. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you? He's trying to figure out if you're lying. I'm probably a pretty good liar, right? But I wonder if we could weasel more information out of him. As you can tell, I was looking at the word weasel while I was speaking there. If we dig in here. Did he say to not go inside? I know he didn't tell me to go in, but I don't remember if he told us not to. And he is not going to be happy, like, he's going to make things difficult for me if he catches me in a lie. He's going to make things difficult for me in a way that's annoying. So if I'm going to lie to him, I got to commit. But there's potentially more information to be had otherwise. You know what? Yeah, I did go inside. Weasel had a flag of the old Revachol on his wall. I'm going to leave the racist mug thing out because he might not know that I know about the connection between those mugs and the garbage. Let's keep that information to ourselves for now. Exactly the kind of fascist memorabilia I was expecting, he shakes his head. Weasel probably prays to it every night for the downfall of the Union. He was testing you, and you succeeded. I'm probably a good liar. He wouldn't have caught me. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. He pretends to roll up his sleeves. Real police work is going to start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is going to be good. Yeah, I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about that. Oh, by now I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys, Wild Pines, sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Okay, I'm listening. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries, like our victim. He nods gravely. A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire. He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun. I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yusut, Semenine, Saramiriza. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third-world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. You have a village elephant? No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical. So is the village. But the mercs and their brutality are very real. Okay, go on. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. He laughs. Wait, they move the container? Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. His face turned serious. The killers the company hired. I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them even got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. He shakes his head. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees. So how did he end up hanging from the tree? Well, Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, He raises his finger. We push to kill. That is not a phrase. Wait. But who exactly did the pushing? Well, there's a militant wing inside the Union, a group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. That sounds a bit like organized crime. And they're like you, idealistic people who just want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow. Again, that sounds like organized crime. Also, he does make a fair point, the police. So you believe they killed the hanged man? Mm-hmm. One day, Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him, he chuckles. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation. And are you not afraid that we're going to arrest them? Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in, he chuckles. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them. Well, if he's just boasting, it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried. Okay, so how do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company? How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. He slams his fist on the desk. That's their M.O. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates. So you think the security contractor organized the scabs? You said it, Harry. Hell, the fist lands on the desk again. One of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. He's not scared of them. If anything, he likes them being here. Well, of course he does. It's a polarizing element. It allows him to overstep a little bit with public approval at his back. You mentioned a lawyer girl. Oh, Liz is a bright one, he grins broadly. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. Now tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew. Okay, sorry about the jump cut. The dog went completely insane because she thought there might be a person outside. There wasn't, because she's not great at being a dog, but... Anyway, the Hardy crew, the Hardy boys. Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. He starts laughing. Gotta love his initiative. What more can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent? Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Real whatever happened. Real whatever happened? It's a weird way to put... Okay. I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them, hell, interview them, but don't fight them. They really are just like you, men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets. That's not 100% like me. Everett, listen, I already met with the Hardys. Could you maybe ask them to cooperate with me? Oh, but of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk. Also, Harry, here's 5 real. He holds out a banknote. Wait, why are you giving this to me? I'm not giving you anything, I'm just holding out 5 real. I mean, Kim's not here. I like money, and I'm not gonna let this influence my decisions, so yeah, take it. Good boy, a real team player. He rubs his hands together. Now, do you have any more questions? I really do hope that we can end this somehow with Everett Claire in custody. He just grosses me out in a way. I guess we haven't literally seen him do anything illegal except for bribe me, which I can only kind of bring him in on because I did accept the bribe. Like, I am also guilty of that crime. But he's definitely a criminal, right? Alright, you know what? Good talk. Let's conclude for now. I don't want to talk to him about me. I don't want to let him know that I know about the bullet. Not yet. I really wish we could talk to Kim. Was it a good talk? He leans back, suddenly worried. I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And, of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. Great sadness comes over him. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left, he says, slowly shaking his head. I want to, but I just can't. Hey, I am a man of the left. Man of the left? So you have to be a social democrat? Oh, he's been hurt too much in the past by men who weren't social democrats. But I have that thought slotted, don't I? Yeah. This should give us some boost here, right? What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are. Yo, there is nothing more left you could say to somebody than, hey, fuck off, buddy, I'm more left than you are. I'm gonna say that, I think. This is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are. You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is. Company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me? What would this entail? Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper. He pulls out an envelope, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. What are the signatures for? I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth center in Martinez. He grins broadly. It will be righteous. We're going to get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. Okay, I'm into that. He's setting up a roller derby team. I am in. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. Oh, I see. And what will happen to the current occupants? Well, they're just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings, right next to a fancy new youth center designed by the best architects from Stella Maris. Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street? Yeah, that's a good question. Are you 100% sure no one's going to end up homeless? Am I? The big man shakes his head in disbelief. Harry, these people. Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're going to build a youth center there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug out from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbor. He means it. My sense of empathy might be getting tricked a little bit here, and I notice that this is empathy speaking and not drama. Okay, where is this place exactly? On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it, a gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry. You're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more? No one can see you here in Martinez. You know what? Fine. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. Oh, you bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here. He hands you an open white envelope. You need to get signatures from Isabel, Sadie, and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop across the canal. I hear there's some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist. He runs his fingers through his thin hair. Yeah, so this we're probably not going to do, right? Like, the other thing I ended up doing, not because it was what he wanted me to do, not because I thought he was going to give me my gun back, which he obviously will never do, but because I was very curious about what was going on in that basement apartment. This, I don't see how we stand to gain from doing this task at all. Alright, well, that was productive. Probably, though, that is where we ought to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And of course, he's going to sit here and type loudly throughout my outro. Very rude. Come back next time, tomorrow, for probably the end of day 2, and if we're very, very lucky, the sight of Kim's smiling face once more. And we'll see you then.